Just 5 weeks ago, Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley dropped out of the race for governor of Wisconsin. But today, he holds the Democratic nomination after winning Tuesday's primary election. Crowley's victory marks one of the most unlikely political comebacks in recent years. Just 10 days after he ended his campaign, he relaunched it with the backing of outgoing Governor Tony Evers as establishment Democrats look to stop the rise of state representative and Democratic socialist Francesca Hong, who seemed to hold an early lead in the race.
And David Crowley joins us now. David, tell me.
Congratulations.
What happened? You're supposed to be on vacation right now, man.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be on vacation.
You're not even supposed to be here.
You're not even close to being on vacation anymore. What's up?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. This has been a wild ride when you think about the past few weeks. But, you know, I'm glad we got back into this race. Securing this nomination is definitely something to behold. But I will tell you, the one thing that I've learned is about buy travel insurance.
Yeah, exactly. So let me ask you, and I'm not asking this facetiously. I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, okay, well, he was out of the race. He's supposed to be on vacation. He's making. What do you say to Democrats, to independents, even Republicans that might want to support your campaign? Are you all in? Like, are you in this to win it? And do you really want it? And are you going to fight for it?
Look, we have been in this fight. You know, we had made decisions, you know, based off of data and facts when I suspended my campaign. And as you both can imagine, we learned so much after that the data and the facts that we had access to, quite frankly, wasn't true. And so we knew that the stakes was too high for us to continue to sit on the sideline. We need someone who can coalesce our party across the political spectrum, someone who has a track record of getting things done. And the stakes were too high. And so with the backing of Governor Tony Evers and labor unions all across this state, as well as progressive leaders, we got back into this race. We're now focusing on moving forward and making sure that we build an even bigger tent.
You know, Wisconsin is the swing state in America right now. And it's kind of like Tim Russert used to say it was Florida, Florida, Florida. Now it's Wisconsin, Wisconsin, Wisconsin. But the thing I found is whatever state you're in, especially in 2026, it's about costs, and costs. Affordability for rent, affordability for groceries, affordability for gas. What do you want to do as governor to help Americans and help people in Wisconsin who are fighting runaway inflation?
Well, one, we have to make things much more affordable, you know, and I have a track record of being able to lower costs, particularly as it relates to housing. We have the lowest unsheltered homeless count per capita than any community in the United States. And so we know that so many people feel like they've been left out. And I was always told as an organizer that if you don't have a seat at the table, you're on the menu. And so many of our workers, our adults, our seniors, our young people, they feel like they can't lend their voice to the solutions because there's no one-size-fits-all solution for our state. And so it's about giving voice, but also making sure that we're doing everything that we can to put families in better positions moving forward.
Yeah, you know, Willie, we always focus on the inflation rate, consumer price index, all this other stuff, quarter to quarter. And it cooled down a little bit this past quarter. But if you're an American going to a grocery store, you remember what things cost in 2019. And so now you see that, like, if you're looking at ground beef, it's 100% higher than it was before COVID, before the hyperinflation. And that's one of the things Donald Trump said. He was going to bring inflation down. It's actually the rate is even higher than it was when Joe Biden left office. So if we're saying 3.5% or 3.3 or 3.4%, that's on top of everything else that's piled up over the past year and a half and during the Biden administration. It's just Americans go to the grocery store, they can't afford it.
Yeah, and these technicalities about whether it's up 0.01% or what number is real, the reality for people, and you're right to point out, it's not just gas that we focus that all the time. It's really the grocery store. I mean, you look at the prices you can't believe your eyes. And when you scan through, you can't believe the total at the end of it, having to put some things back. So that's very real. Mr. Crowley, thanks for being with us. Congratulations on your primary victory. I don't want to rub it in, but today in Montego Bay, it's 89 and sunny with a light ocean breeze. But I'm sure you're happy to be right there in the state of Wisconsin.
Yes.
Let's talk about your message to progressives who supported Francesca Hong in this race. The prognosticators were wrong. It looked like she was going to kind of run away with this. Some of that polling was way off, but when you got back in, it tightened up again. What do you say to those ultra-progressive voters who say maybe you're too centrist for them, or you're not quite for them, or maybe they'll just stay home? What's your message in terms of bringing the party back together here?
Well, look, when I think about all the candidates in this race, no, we may not agree on everything, but we do agree on our ultimate goal, which is making sure that we don't have a nominee like Congressman Tom Tiffany occupying this governor's office. We know that he will set us back and, quite frankly, tear down much of the progress that Governor Evers has made in the past 8 years. And so if we want things to be more affordable, tackling things like raising the minimum wage, making sure that childcare is affordable and accessible, right? That we can get rid of the minimum markup that we have at the gas pump that's, quite frankly, hitting all of us in some type of capacity, whether that's through groceries, our own pocket, or through municipalities. It's time for us to come together. And so I want folks to know that we can't continue to move forward by looking in the rearview mirror. This is about how do we ultimately defeat MAGA extremism here in the state of Wisconsin.
Forgive the question, but it seems to have been a salient issue in this race. Where are you on Thanksgiving?
Listen, I love sitting down, hanging with my family, watching football on Thanksgiving, and my sister-in-law makes the best chicken dressing.
Okay, fair enough.
Mr. Crowley, congratulations. Francesca Hong, we should note, was part of, much like we're seeing the Democrats in Michigan rally around the nominee after a fairly bruising primary fight. We're seeing that as well here in Wisconsin. I know she was at a unity breakfast you guys held this week. Let's take a moment. You mentioned your Republican opponent, Tom Tiffany. Remind viewers of who he is. Member of the House Freedom Caucus. He also an election denier, did not recognize that Joe Biden won the 2020 election. Yes, President Trump did carry Wisconsin twice, but it's an extreme battleground. It's a battleground state. Do you think talk to us about how voters there are receiving Tom Tiffany as potentially the next governor?
Well, they're looking at the fact that he has not been standing up to this current president. He's been carrying the water of President Trump versus carrying the concerns of the constituents that he currently represents. And we know that the biggest thing that they're going to focus on is continuing to divide and distract. But look, we have a track record. We have found ways to build winning coalitions across this state, bringing Republicans and Democrats to pass legislation that brought more resources to every single community. And so we have a stark contrast when it comes down to our resumes. And so people are looking at this campaign, his particular campaign, wondering what exactly does he bring to the table? We know that Congress doesn't have great approval ratings. He's voted, again, 100% of the time with Donald Trump. And if there were times he felt like he was going to be bucking up against this president, he didn't show up to work. He missed those votes. And so as long as we continue to show who he is, who he has been as a congressional member, as well as when he has served here in the state legislature, voting to restrict abortion access here in the state of Wisconsin, we just have to remind voters exactly who he is and that he's no longer for this state.